Good morning, students of class 9th. In the previous video we have discussed a lot about the constitution, and in the previous videos we have been discussing basically about the constitution of South Africa, right? But in today's video we are going to come to India and we are going to discuss about the Indian constitution, that what are the rights in the Indian constitution, or basically we are going to discuss about the Indian constitution only, right? So the topic for the day is your Indian constitution. So let us begin with the topic, the Indian constitution. See, we all know that the country, our country was a slave or was a colony, not a slave, was a colony of the British government, right? Means before 1947, when our Desh was declared independent from the colonial forces or the colonial rule, the British or the England was the country from where our country used to run. Now, when our country was declared as an independent nation from Britain, so there was a demand for a constitution or a set of rules through which a country should run. A constitution is a process which is being learned, which was being followed earlier than the British people, right? So every king used to have their own constitution in their own regime. So the Indian government also tried that there should be a constitution for the country and constitution should be formed, which was the right demand for them. And the Indian constitution was at last drafted or made. So we are going to discuss about the background of the Indian constitution basically today. So first of all, let us discuss about the background of the Indian constitution. See, India gained independence from the British on 15th of August 1947. That is a known fact. We all know that the Indian government that India got its independence from the British on 1947, 15th August. It had struggled for over 50 years for that Indian masses could breathe in air of freedom, right? For the 50 years we have been struggling, but the leaders of the movement of independence had already seen the shape of the future. They understood that the British had come to the acceptance that it was time to leave Indian subcontinent, and very soon this would be a reality, right? So the leaders or the freedom fighters were aware of the fact that now Britishers are also planning to leave the country, because they also now know that there are many revolts going on from time to time in the country, and it won't be possible for them to rule India for a long time now. So the freedom fighters already knew that they are going to leave the country. So but the British left India in a very peculiar state, means when they were on the verge of being breaking, because at that time during the 1947, in 1944 only the World War II had stopped, right? And when the World War II stopped or it came to an end, the British government faced huge losses in terms of finance also and in terms of manpower also, right? Because in the war many of the big officers were killed, or many of the resources of the British continent or the British government was stolen or was destroyed in the war, right? But British left India in a very peculiar state. Even when they left, they divided India into two states basically. One was the India and other was the Pakistan, right? So when otherwise there was a united India, but after the independence, when the British left India, they basically broke India into two countries. One was Pakistan and one was India. And the Pakistan was also on the two sides of the Indian subcontinent, One was the West Pakistan, which we called as Pakistan by today, and the other one was Bangladesh, which was known by the name of East Pakistan then, right? So when the India was united, it is India. So this area is Pakistan, you know that. So it was earlier called as West Pakistan, right? And the country here, it is Bangladesh, but today it is called Bangladesh. Earlier, when at the time of independence, it was called as East Pakistan, right? So this was a situation in the 1963 war. Later in the 1964 or 63 war, the East Pakistan was taken away from the West Pakistan, and it was formed by the name of Bangladesh. Okay, so not only this, they gave independence to all princely states and left it to them to choose if they wanted to join any of the two countries or remain independent, right? So when the Britishers left India, at that time of their leaving, the country was not divided into states as it is now. Like there were 28 states, there was Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan. The states were not like this. The states were divided into princely states. They were divided into princely states. What are princely states? Princely states were basically the states of small kings, right? Like there was the Nawab of Rampur, there was the Nizam of Hyderabad, there was a Rajputana or a king in the Jaisalmer, right? So there were different princely states at that time, and all the princely states were set free from the British rule. But though they were set free, but they were given a condition that it is their will that they want to go with India, or they want to go with Pakistan, or they want to remain as an independent nation, right? It was all up to them, the princely states, right? They were given a choice that whatever they want they can do. They can either go with India, they can either go with Pakistan, or they can form their own independent nation. Not only this, they gave independence to all princely states also, right? Imagine a country which would have a small independent countries within the geographical limits. It was an unpragmatic situation. The division of India into India and Pakistan led thousands of people migrating from one side to the other. Large scale looting arose and violence erupted in the areas coming under Pakistan, where they wanted to push away all those community other than Muslims, right? Now when the division was declared, the partition was declared, there was large scale violence. The riots were there on a large scale, both in the countries in India and in Pakistan. Basically they were in the area of Pakistan, which is now Pakistan. So there were violence in the Pakistan side, basically the West Pakistan, and the violence was such that there was religious violence or communal violence, right? The non-Muslim communities were driven out of the area of Pakistan by force, right? So thousands of people got killed in the violence, and properties worth thousands were destroyed. People were forced to move out with whatever little they could save. On the eve of independence, India was left with huge multi-ethnic diverse population, large number of refugees from Pakistan, and many independent states such as Hyderabad, Goa and Junagadh, right? There was also a Nawab of Junagadh also, right? So many of the people, they migrated from Pakistan because there was communal violence, so they migrated from Pakistan to the present India, and when they migrated to save themselves, and there were large number of immigrants. Immigrants means the people who are taking a shelter in the home country, right? Like India is our country, and many of the people who were driven away from Pakistan, they had nowhere to go, so they migrated to India. They were known as immigrants, right? So the people migrated from Pakistan and they came to India. The leaders were not experienced, and administrative setup had yet to be established. Leaders like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel took on the challenge to unite India and negotiate and convince the princely independent states to merge with India. union, Indian Union for larger benefits of their people. Governing such a vast nation with such a high level of diversity and meeting aspirations of the millions of people was not an easy task. Right. So it was now the duty of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel to have a dialogue with the princely states owners, whether they were the kings or the nawabs, and when they used to head the meetings, and after the dialogue, the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was given a duty to convince them so that they can become a part of the Indian Union. Right. Many of the kings were not in favor because they felt that their power will be lost, because they all knew that India is now going to be democracy, and if there will be democracy, then the kings or the rajas or the nawabs will not be able to hold their power. Right. So many of the kings were not in favor, but many were in favor. Right. The Indian struggle for independence was different from South Africa. Here the independence was also involved thinkers who had started to work on the future of independent nation along before they had the day of independence. Right. So the leaders of the nation of India were very confident that now the Britishers will go, and before they even left the country, the leaders of our nation were such a visionary one that they started drafting the constitution before the Britishers even left the country. Right. In 1928, Motilal Nehru and some of his colleagues had formulated a constitution. The matter was also discussed in Karachi session of Congress in 1931. Even during that time, the clause of universal adult franchise and protection of minorities was deliberated open. This document was not comprehensive and had been made far before the British even thought of giving the independence to India. Right. Even the Britishers went out of the country, the document was started to being made. Right. So to be made. So we will discuss about it in the next video. I hope this background is enough for you for today. We will meet in the next video. Till then, stay at your homes and stay safe. Thank you.